Awesome. So one thing, the last thing I'll say, and then Henry, I'd love to hear from you. One of the reasons that I'm so serious about blogging is, one, it's like we were talking, Henry, it's a lower barrier to entry. To produce really, really high written content takes less investment, in my opinion, from the standpoint of actual technology than really, really high quality production value video, right? The second reason is, if you think about the academic work, all professional researchers are also professional writers, right? And I would also say for people who are going to be thought leaders in education, and I believe you two can be thought leaders for sure. I'm not sure whether or not I'm past formally speaking, they say I only have 5 years left, right? 40, not if they say if you're 40, over 40, you're pretty much fucked. And so I got like 5 years of good thinking left, right? But like, if the idea is that you guys are going to finish your PhD, learning and your thesis and all that stuff, learning how to write is really important. So the way that I think about the blog process is it's not orthogonal. It's like skew parallel, right? So like they're not identical. Mathematical writing or CS writing is not identical to blog writing, but it's also not orthogonal to it, right? Like the writing systems that you're going to develop, that we as a team, all three of us, are developing in posting blogs, consistently month after month, year after year, and like processing and collecting information, those same systems are directly transferable for the PhD, which will decrease your cognitive load. When you're thinking about taking on the PhD process, you're basically partitioning your cognitive load into technical specific information and writing, and you're front loading the writing part, which will give you a competitive edge, not only in the PhD process, but also afterwards. Like you guys, if you're going to teach classes, you're going to be creating curriculum. Maybe you guys want to publish textbooks. Maybe you want to publish YouTube videos. Like all of that stuff depends on systems of creation, right? And so that's one of the reasons that I also think it's really, really important. Like the sooner you guys start that development, the more opportunity you'll have to fail by the time you're actually going to kick that into gear, right?
Yeah.
So Henry.
Hey, no, I agree. I was watching some of Amy Edmondson's work on psychological safety this morning when I was eating, and I thought to myself, if she had the media presence that she has now, but without any of her written content, I don't think she would actually be able to have the media presence that she has now. And that goes along with so many of the authors that we've brought into our conversation. So if we define writing as our way to sharpen our thinking and reading abilities, then that is definitely way more transferable than making attention-grabbing videos at this stage. So it's kind of like having the curriculum or having the book and then building support on it, or just building support for like piloting forever these support resources, right?
And the sad thing, like what we really should do is find somebody that knows how to make attention grabbing resources and get them on the team, right? Because then it wouldn't have to be a either or. I'm not claiming that at this point in my career, that I've launched a ton of well edited written work, but I have been writing on a daily basis for about 12 years, right? 2010 is when I really started that. Yeah, I guess 21 minus 12 is not 10, but yeah. But it's like, I'm not against the idea of producing really good videos. It's just, I'm so early in that stage that, and like, I can pretty much guarantee your PhD thesis advisor and institution is not going to give you a thesis when you produce a really, really sexy video. Right? Yeah. So it's just like, I think more on that later. But talk to me, Henry. Sorry.
No, that order makes sense for sure. It's harder for me, obviously, because I've been doing research on videos, I guess, informally for, I don't know, 20 years. And I've just gone to, like, the first book I finished was the first book that we read together, How Learning Works, right? Like literally, that is literally the first book I finished. So that's why I see so many things that we can do in video because I've been kindling what videos mean for such a long time. That's all. But
Yeah,
the sequencing makes sense.
and no, but bring that though, right? Because that's the beautiful thing about a collaboration. Like bring that into like, and I honestly like you guys are in a different. How can we prepare for a future that we don't even know? And my personal belief is that as time goes on, video is going to be more and more important. It's just the titanic shift. Like 2005 was YouTube, right? 2006 or 2007 was the iPhone. So we've only had society wise, we've only had like 15 years where the average person could produce a video. So I don't think the entire institution of education nor the entire culture of our society has really gotten their heads around this. And this is like, we still have the chance to be early adopters. It's taking off for sure. Like I didn't start my YouTube account in 2005, sadly, right? But like this is not 2060, right? And so I think from that standpoint, like keep pushing that, Henry. Keep pushing it. Like I agree with that completely. It's just like that's going to be something that you're pushing the boundaries on, and then we're catching up to, right? And I think it is super important. It's just it's a dimension that I don't have as much insight to, that at this point I don't think that the institutions have caught up to. But that's a great way. You know how institutions change? People on the fringes make really, really good developments that catch people's attention, right?
One last thing I'll say on this topic is when I hear Newport or other authors talk about cognitive fitness and their ability to concentrate, as I'm just developing what it means to read, um, I mean, I literally feel myself like, I think Steve's actually read a lot more than I have. Steve and I've had a few one-on-one conversations about just how much he's read in the past. But I mean, if we're serious about this work, like we got to get in front of students, right? Full-time positions. And there are ways that I am exercising cognitively in reading that is more transferable to me succeeding in my coursework versus me, even with full intentionality, studying video or studying YouTube's. So yes, this is the right move for sure.
Awesome.